1957, Dr. P's miraculous device actually turned up the goods. We found another Oberite fragment the other day. He made a few calculations on his cuff and is positive these are from Oberon. Not as good as a second Oberon, but there may very well be a substantial fragment still to be found. If we can find it, it'll wipe the eye of those naysayers in London. I mean, no less than they deserve. You curious pack. In any case, we can... For the devil? Wind scale! The whole thing's ablaze, I can't... 27th of August, 1957. Woke up feeling... well, not exactly feeling ill, just not well. Went to the local last evening, Johnny Anglin. The landlord offered us something he called a bit special. Mead, it turned out to be, but a vintage mead. I didn't think there was such a thing. Strong, too. We all seemed to feel rather giddy afterwards, although not in a way I would associate with alcohol. The effect has ameliorated. We're all still feeling a bit off. I'm worried that we've been intoxicated by something other than ethanol. God knows what might be growing in a bottle of old muck like that. I'm worried about fungal growth like those toxic ones that grew in rye once upon a time. Probably nothing. But we should go to the sick bay and get tested, just to be on the safe side. Uninterested in the Oberite fragment Barber turned up. When I raised the subject in my weekly report, all it provoked was a gentle pat on the head, a patronising, very interesting, and a reminder that I'm supposed to be focusing on Project Speedwell. It seems absurd to be working on chemical agents when there's such impractical weapons. But apparently, the trenches of the Great War weren't enough to convince our betters of the vagaries of gas. Ours is not to reason why, I tell myself. Ours is but to watch vast numbers of rats and rabbits die in agony while we make notes. Still, the spirit of real scientific curiosity still burns in Dr. P. He's as intrigued by Barber's discovery as I am. He's going to try to lash together a detector from spare parts so we can go on a jolly Oberite hunt. simply not right in myself. The sickbay apparently managed to lose our slides, so nothing about our tests to report. I might make an appointment for another checkup. It could just be hypochondria, I suppose. Perhaps it's the pressure of the work. I just sometimes feel I'm beginning to buckle a little. We're rarely permitted to leave this damn pebble of an island. I'm developing a bit of an E-Day feeks about my brother's death in Normandy. Recently, I can almost imagine I hear his voice just calling from a distance. I'm sure it's him. Just as I'm sure it can't possibly be. Rawlinson ill-advisedly said at dinner the other day that he sometimes feels the island is haunted and was roundly mocked for the observation. Shall keep my experiences to myself.
That special dagger's up in the Bard testing lab. If you can get it, we're in with a chance. Oh, that's marvellous. Well done. Those druids better look out, that's all. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We've got plenty to discuss. You'll want to know my plan, if you can dignify it by calling it as much. First, I'd like to tell you a tale. Time for us to dig a little into the Isle's troubled past. Some of the papers I've been reading, they're preserved from the monks of the Abbey back in the olden times. The monks were the lifeblood of this place, you see, 300-400 years ago or thereabouts. Left quite the legacy on the Isle. Their old writing isn't easy going, but they seem to go on about keeping something unusual in the Abbey crypt. And this thing the monks buried, I think it's at the root of all the troubles here. Story goes that these monks found something on the Isle, the same thing that's now buried in the crypt under that abbey. The monks called this thing a fallen angel. Christ only knows what that means. It was a relic at first, but then their writing gets all strange and obsessive, and here's the thing, those monks weren't supposed to worship a relic, were they? Whatever this angel thing was, clearly it turned them funny. Mayhap it did the same to them as it did to the people on the Isle today, those druids in the ruins. Anyhow, seems the monks sealed it away in the end, but not before writing a bit about the thing itself. And here's the bit I'm interested in. They say it's made of stone, but not like anything else on Earth. Precious, like a great diamond. How about that, eh? A ruddy great diamond. Who knows? One paper I found said it came from the sky, but that might just be metaphorical. Here's what's important. In that crypt might just be the biggest divine diamond in the world, and you've got the very tool to cut such a diamond. That dagger. None of my lot are mad keen to get into a fight with those druids that guard the place. But this might be our chance to grab something worth a few bob before getting out of the zone. What do you say? Escape and enjoy a fat wallet on the outside? In the zone, coins are worth no more than pebbles. But we're leaving, and out there we'll need some brass in our pockets if we're to live lives worth living. We'll start getting ready to leave this island and touch wood, the zone and all. There's a spot for you on that boat. Bring out the fallen angel, even a bit of it if that's all you can manage, and we shall be set up for life. The crypt's under the Abbey ruins, obviously. I'll mark it for you if you haven't already been there. It's going to be heavily guarded, so watch yourself. Oh, and I was forgetting, there's one last thing needs attending to. After you've nabbed a piece of that fallen angel, Oberon's got to go. The scientists in my crowd don't know what Oberon is. It was top secret, but it has to be destroyed. These waters aren't safe because of Oberon. That blue muck will sink us if we try and leave the mere to the sea. But believe you me, once Oberon is dealt with, the zone's gonna get very busy at short notice, and not in a good way. Make sure you've tied up your loose ends first. If my ex-boffins are to be believed, you'll need to power up that interchange to get there. Come back smartly once it's done, and we'll head out to sea.